Colts running back Jonathan Taylor, I beg your pardon, NFL rushing champion Jonathan Taylor is here with us on behalf of FedEx's Ground and Air Player of the Year Awards. I think it's pretty safe who gets that Ground Award.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Speaking of awards or rewards, last time I saw you, we just met for the first time in person, but I watched the final episode of Hard Knocks. Okay. And when you blessed your offensive lineman with Louis bags, I believe it was, right?
Sir, yes, sir.
That was a hell of a moment, man. What did that mean for you to be able to do that for them? It was a disappointing end to the season, but you still show love. As Dan Marino used to say, you took care of the people that take care of you.
Yes, sir. Like you mentioned, I mean, it was a tough ending to the season, but the whole entire season was like a movie. I mean, just everything that happened, you know, how I had the season that I had. And you kind of get to certain points where it's like, man, I've watched people do this, and now I'm in that position. So you watch, you know, guys be the rushing leader. Then I was in that position. And then you watch guys take care of their O-line. And then I was in that position. So it was really special for me because now I know that I'm able to do the same, and I always admire those backs who did the same as well. I'm like, man, I'm in high school, man, that's really nice they did that. I wish I could do that for my guys now.
Yeah.
So now that I'm in that position, I mean, it was only right. I mean, those dudes, they do the heavy lifting week in and week out, man.
That was a really cool scene.
And I know, you know, there are team goals that the Colts have, and then individual goals. So going into the 2021 season, as you're thinking about what you wanted your season to be, what were some of the things on the table for you? Because this was, I mean, this productive season was just incredible. What was on the table for you before the season?
Well, number one, I really wanted to earn that trust from my coaches and teammates. You know, I did have, you know, started off my rookie year, you know, it was just okay, especially, you know, just coming in the year that we had, COVID year, learning everything virtually, a new system, a new NFL system, going into camp, live bullets flying. So halfway through the year, finally getting acclimated, started rolling a little bit. So, you know, you understand that, okay, this is a new season. I got something to prove. Like, it was only half of a season where I really, you know, started playing great football. So I really wanted to make sure I earned the trust of my coaches and teammates, because if they don't trust you to be out there, it doesn't matter if the fans think you're the best thing since sliced bread. They won't put you out there. They're like, we can't trust this guy. And then second, I just wanted to be a difference maker. You know, I wanted to be a person where defenses are like, we need to make sure we plan around number 28.
Yeah. It seems to be running through people here, too. I mean, is that something that you take pride in? I mean, I know you got the speed as evidence there, but how about just contact? How do you feel about contact and kind of running over people? Is that something you feel like you can do?
I definitely can. I feel like it's tough to play the position if you aren't okay with that. I feel like it's tough. No matter, like, if you're a scat back or no matter if you're between the tackles or both, I feel like you need to love contact. You need to want to invite contact to play this position, because I was just on another, you know, interview talking to somebody, and they mentioned we're the last people to get hit. I mean, you think about it, receivers, there's a certain point where you can't touch them. I mean, we're the last people. We can get hit anytime, anywhere on the field. So if you're not, you know, that kind of physical kind of person, I feel like it's really tough to play this position.
You know, going back to the season as a team, you know, and it's interesting. I watched that Hard Knocks episode through a different lens, because after you guys lost to Jacksonville, you know, you heard it all. You know, they choked, you know, they cracked under pressure. How did Jacksonville win? But what was apparent is that you guys prepared. Obviously, no one was at stake, but they didn't catch y'all off guard. Y'all weren't shocked. Y'all didn't underestimate them. Y'all didn't take them lightly. Y'all didn't overlook them. In fact, it seemed like as an organization, y'all went above and beyond to make sure that nobody took Jacksonville for granted in the last game of the season. So how do you process, you know, how it ended and what happened, and how do you build on it? How is that the middle of the story, not the end of the story for your organization?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. You know, a lot of times, you know how when there are big games that are happening and people mention, don't make the game bigger than what it is. You know, it's another game. We know it's at stake, but, you know, just make sure that you stay on your P's and Q's, you focus on the small details. I feel like that's something that, you know, we should have did, maybe as players a little bit, just making sure that we understood, yes, we know it's at stake, but just how we mentioned every other week, it's another game.
You think you might have taken it too seriously?
Not too seriously, but just understanding that we don't have to do more
Gotcha.
than what is expected. You know, we just have to do our job.
Yeah.
Because I know at certain times I felt like that before. I'm like, what can I do? What can I do to spark the offense? When really it's just whatever your assignment is, do it at a high level.
Yeah.
Do it at a high level. But like you mentioned, they didn't catch us off guard at all. If anything, like you mentioned, it's a division game.
Yeah.
And everyone, looks at their record, but they don't understand division games. It doesn't matter what your record is.
Yeah.
Division games are always tough. And if you look at our past games with Jacksonville, they've always been kind of close,
especially down there.
You know what I'm saying? So it was really, really tough to end it like that. But going forward, we've really been focusing on that motto, whatever it takes. What are you willing to sacrifice in order to make sure we get to where we have to go at the end of the year?
And what's your answer to that question, your personal answer to that question?
I'm willing to sacrifice everything. And the number one thing is time. Are you willing to sacrifice your time? A lot of people, they go into work, they want to come back home, you want to relax, which everyone in America wants to go to work and wants to relax, and it kind of sucks a little bit because our profession, you need to sacrifice a little more time.
Yeah.
Are you willing to sacrifice a little bit more time in order to make sure you're at your best so your team can be where you want to be at the end of the year?
Mike has mentioned Hard Knocks a couple of times. I wonder what it was like for you to have cameras around all the time and knowing that this might wind up on TV. How did you respond to that?
So I actually spoke to a lot of family members about this. They actually did a great job of making it seem like they weren't there. So inside of the building, there are cameras in the locker, not in the locker room, there are cameras inside the meeting rooms, maybe in the hallways, cafeteria. On the field, of course, everything is to the side. They have powerful cameras where they're able to zoom in and get everything clear as day. So unless you were really doing like a one-on-one interview or specifically being followed, they did a great job of making it seem like they weren't there. But then when you watch an episode, you're like, they got that?
Wow. You heard that conversation? Did anything? What did you think of it? Like you're a star. You're one of the stars of the story here. But as a fan, what did you think of just watching it, or did you watch it?
I thought it was really nice because usually Hard Knocks is normally during camp.
Yeah.
So you get to see the trials and tribulations of camp, the little scruffles and things like that. But now I think you really got to see a lens of how NFL players prepare each week and how different players prepare. Different players prepare differently each and every single week. So I think it really gave a nice insight on how the players prepare. And they also did a great job of, people may be wondering, oh, they're going to show our plays. No, they did a great job of just showing the players, individually, similar to how they would do on a Hard Knocks during camp.
Yeah.
Really nice.
I believe I saw a player poll from the Pro Bowl where you were the player's choice unofficially for MVP. Burt Bell Award for Player of the Year. The expectation is that an NFL honors the MVP will once again, as usual, go to a quarterback. You're a humble guy, but how would you make the case that, hey, not just me, but running backs need more love in these conversations? There was a time when you were at the forefront of the conversation, and if you make the playoffs, maybe it was a different one, but it always just seems like it's a quarterback, one of these quarterbacks awards to lose.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And like you mentioned, I know a lot of people say it's a quarterback award, and I tell people all the time, it's been done before.
Yeah.
Running backs have won the award before. Yeah. You just got to do enough. That's all. And normally, quarterbacks touch the ball every play. They're able, and not to take away from the quarterbacks, because they make incredible plays. You see these throws, these runs these quarterbacks make. It's insane. And you're like, well, number one, I know I can't throw the ball that far. Right. So that was a dime. But really, I would just say the things that we do a lot. And, whether it's protecting, whether it's carrying the ball, whether it's helping someone else secure a block. I mean, there's a lot of things that goes into playing the running back position, but you just got to do a little bit more. It's been done before.
Yeah, you didn't run for enough yards this year. You scored enough touchdowns. Look, you're not going to hurt our feelings. Should it be taken out of our hands? You know what I mean? Especially there was a controversy about one of the writers had a personal issue with Aaron Rodgers. He wouldn't vote for him. Do you think it should be an award that is officially voted on by your peers?
I think that would be great, just because I think it's a certain level of respect and an honor to know that because I just found this out maybe 30 minutes ago, that the players that you compete against, you know, you're going to war against and you're going to war with, they respect you that much to say, man, I think this guy was the best person in the league this year. And of course, you guys analyze and you're able to go way into depth on the numbers and as well as just watching film. And I think it's just a little different when the players say, hey, this is who we think is the best. Because then you're like, I truly appreciate that. Like, because you both know the physicality, the toll it takes on your body. So for them to say that, it does mean a lot.
Yeah, there's something about, you know, being out there competing against somebody. Like if you see somebody get praised and you played against them, you know some of the things they've done or haven't done that maybe escapes the media. Yeah,
definitely. Like you're somebody, I just got asked, like, who these past 2 years, you know, have you taken like a super hard welcome to the NFL hit? And Zach Cunningham from, well, he was with Houston, so now he's in Tennessee. Like, someone else says that, I'm like, yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from. Like, and you share that moment. You share that moment with them. So I think it's really nice to be able to share those moments. And as well for Zach, I don't know if he's like, yeah, like I did give you guys a clean hit, but I know probably he's like, I appreciate that you feel as though, like, you know, I was one of the toughest persons you played against, because everyone wants to be the best. That's why you play the game, to be the best.
Last thing for me, so again, you're here representing the FedEx Air and Ground Players of the Year. NFL honors this tomorrow night. Certainly could end up Offensive Player of the Year, which is certainly quite prestigious. What are you looking to get out of being at the Super Bowl? A lot of people, after a while, are like, I don't want to come back here unless I'm playing in it. You know, also there's opportunities here. You know, what are you looking to get from this experience in LA?
You definitely just hit the nose on the head. Opportunities. I mean, out here, you're able to connect with so many different kinds of people, whether it's reporters, writers, athletes, musicians, businessmen, it doesn't matter. There are so many connections that the NFL has. So when you're able to have an opportunity like this, it's hard to miss out on that, because you're thinking, how many opportunities could I have missed if I wouldn't have came here today? So just being able to connect with as many people as possible is something that I'm willing and able and excited to do this week. It's a blessing and an honor to be here. Hopefully that next year I'm here and I'm playing in it. So that'll be the goal.
We won't ask you. Oh, we have to ask you. Who you got in the game?
So I think it's going to be a matter of fact if Joe Burrow and that offense can overtake that Rams defense. I mean, you look at the defense and not just the players that they have, but the type of veteran leaders they had who've played in those big games before. I think it's just going to be a matter of fact if Joe Burrow and that offense can overtake that defense, because I know that defense is going to be ready to roll.
Colts got him a good one. Colts fans already knew that.
Absolutely.
You know, Colts got him a good one. And we appreciate you joining us, man. Jonathan Taylor, sky's the limit for you, brother.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.